Hello, my fellow Elden Lords. Consider this a part 2 video to my Is the Prince of Death Staff Worth It? I now have all the Death Sorcery spells, even the Ancient Death Rancor and the Explosive Ghost Flame, which I mentioned in my previous video. I have the Prince of Death Staff again, and this time, because I screwed up last time, I don't have another staff in my hand. So staff passives carry over to one another. Uh, it's kind of hard to tell, but they do carry over. So if you have two staffs in your hand and they both have passives, they carry over. So, and I had two staffs in my hand last video. I'm only going to have one this time. So it'll be an accurate estimation of damage and so forth. So, also, the reason I was doing all this was because I wanted to make a Necromancer build, but looking at all these death sorceries, I just don't think what I want to do is possible. But anyway, here we go. So here's Rancor Call, the normal one. You can get this one very early. That's some nice damage. My stats are 65 intelligence and 65 faith. The Prince of Death Staff boosts death sorcery. So now we're going to do the same thing with just the Lusat staff, which, as you can see, is actually weaker. 339, 345. Just by a little bit. Same spell. Yeah, you can actually tell the little bit of boost of damage from the Prince of Death staff. Nice. That's really nice. Okay, I had to redo my flasks. So that was Rancor Call. Here's Ancient Death Rancor with Lusat staff. Bigger. Wow. It seems to do the same amount of damage. Yeah, it seems to do this. Oh, wow, I can only cast that one twice. Goodness gracious. Now we're gonna switch over to the Prince of Death stuff. Oh, nice. I can cast it again. So, same enemy, same spell. Just a little bit more damage than Lusat's stab, but when it comes to damage, I think it just does the same amount of damage than the normal Rancor Call. Let's do a side by side. Okay, that's about 788 if every single one hits. Okay, 788 if every one hits. And this one. Seventh. Oh, okay, so it does do more damage. It does do more damage, but it's about 40 more damage. Okay, so Ancient Death Rancor Call. No, Ancient Death Rancor. This is so stupid. This is Rancor Call, and the other one is Ancient Death Rancor. What's with these names? Okay, so the difference between the spells is one costs more, and one does 40 more damage. And I actually read online that this one may actually cause stagger damage, which would make sense. Yeah, it is causing stagger. It is causing stagger. That's nice. Okay, yeah. From what I was reading, from someone else who was testing this, they said that this one causes more stagger than the Rock Sling, which is what I use as a boss killer because it stuns. But they were saying that this does way more stagger damage than Rock Sling, which you can actually kind of see the stun in the attack. That's really nice. Yeah, that's really nice. Okay, yeah. So this spell, definitely worth it compared to Rancor Call. I was testing Rancor Call when I was making my Necromancer build. The normal one is just horrible. It doesn't do a lot of damage, and it's easy to miss the target. Even if they're big and they're running straight towards you, what happens with Rancor Coal is see how it arcs out and then it comes back in towards the center? Like that. Even a big enemy, it wouldn't hit. What was that? Yeah, some sort of red buff there. Anyway, so I would definitely recommend Ancient Death Rancor, and you can get this pretty early on in the game, but you do have to fight an incredibly dangerous boss for an early part of the game. The Ancient... No, the Deathrite Bird. I can show you where that is. Anyway, so this one's much better over the Rancor Call. But anyway, let's move on to the next spell, Explosive Ghost Flame. I'm still using the Prince of Death Staff, and I'd also like to remind you that the damage you're seeing is because of my stats 65-65. If you had just started, the damage would be horrible. Okay, Explosive Ghost Flame. Do I have any quick? Yeah, okay. Oh, that is sexy. Hey, that guy's getting hurt too. Oh, he took damage. Okay. Oh, wow. Shit. I just died. Also, just another reminder. This is also with the Prince of Death Staff. So if you just started the game and you got this spell, you wouldn't even get the boosted Death Sorcery. You just have the normal staff. So 3 guys here. Let's try it out. Oh, it's got some nice... Well... Oh, nice. It has some good range. It's not constant, though. Oh, shit. Oh, that's some nice range. That line of damage is not the same every time. It kind of curves after every hit, looks like. So what is the actual range of this, though? Not that big. Oh, nice. He has a shield. It's not gonna matter. Tibia summon still sucks. Shit. Okay, so Explosive Ghost Flame, I can see you using it against bosses. It has some burning damage over time, scorching the earth, but it's so slow. It has some nice range. You don't have to be directly behind the boss. You could be near the boss, like that. But that's the problem right there. So the only way you'd be able to use this against the boss is if you had summons. Although, I don't have any bosses I can use this on except Radagon. So I can't compare to see if this would actually be useful against the boss and not high-level enemies like these guys. I do like it though. It's just really fast. I kind of wonder, would it be faster with Azur's staff? Do I have that talisman that does the thing? I do. Okay, so here's another test. Azur's staff with the Radagon icon, which both shorten the casting time. Okay. Okay, that's weird. My downtime after I did it is really slow. That's still good damage. That's still really good damage, even without the Prince of Death Staff. It still leaves you way too open for an attack, however. Got Tibia summons with Azur's staff and Radagon's icon, because I didn't have that last time. That's still way too slow. That's still way too slow. Okay. And of course, this spell doesn't even work. It it only works on tarnished enemies, so this is absolutely horrible. Anyway, that's all the death sorceries in the game, as far as I know. Oh, what's this? Oh, this is mine. Well, that's a lie. I had a whole bunch of people praising this. Like all night I was having people praising it. That's weird. That doesn't even make sense. Anyway, I forgot where I was going with this. Oh yeah, so as far as death sorceries go, the only one I would recommend is this one. So out of 5 spells, only one of them is worth getting, and it's the higher cost version. This one requires, I believe, 20. No, no, no. I'm looking at a different spell. Hold on. Yeah, it was this one. So this one requires 34 intelligence and 24 faith. Uh, this is smaller than that. This is the one you would get before that, but it's much weaker and has no stagger. This one has some really good stagger and damage, but it costs more, and the requirements to use it are much more. Even though this one has some really sweet damage and some range, it's still really slow. You'd only be able to use it in specific scenarios. You might be able to use this as an opening spell, like at the beginning of the boss fight, when the opponent is fighting your summons, you'd be at his back, and then you would use this maybe twice, and then you really wouldn't be able to use it again because by that time, depending on your summon might be dead, and then you wouldn't be able to use it at all. So you might be able to open with this, and then continue with this, and this is almost half the cost. Uh, but you have a lot. You need a lot of mind for this, and I can't test to see if this actually stuns bosses or not compared to Rock Sling. But if it can, this would be a great spell to get some critical hits, and then you'd use a weapon. Overall, out of those 5 spells, there's only one that's actually worth getting, and the stat requirements for this are horrible. Uh, so if anything, like I said in my last video with this stuff, you'd be doing so much just to invest in this staff. This staff is so powerful only when you invest that much time into it. And then you'd only be doing it for one specific spell. And I think after seeing all this, yeah, I don't really think what I want for a Necromancer build is even possible. But as far as Death Sorceries go, there you go. Just one single spell is worth getting. Well, maybe two. Maybe two. But anyone interested in what I was going to be doing for the Necromancer, the whole point that I was trying to do was use all Death Sorcery spells, which obviously isn't going to happen now. But the other thing was to be support for the summons. But the healing spells for Faith Magic are incredibly slow. They're really slow, and the range for healing is awful. Uh, in order to heal your summons in a boss battle, you'd have to almost get right next to the boss. And some of those bosses have some mean area attacks. And so when you're trying to heal your summons that don't do a lot of damage regardless, it just isn't worth it. And you'd only be able to summon at bosses or in specific areas, and once they're down, you can't do it anymore. And you're not really a Necromancer if you can't really summon anything. The other part of the build I was going to be doing was poison. There was going to be a huge emphasis on poison, and I had a really nice combo where I had the poison Ash of War on a spear or a sword, which works great. I could make a poison build instead, and it'd be way more worthwhile than a Necromancer. A pure summoning build support class really just doesn't seem good enough with the restrictions there are to summoning. On PC, if it was possible to mod this game and remove the restrictions for summoning, And if the healing spells had more range, it would definitely be possible. But as of right now, I just don't think it would be good enough for a Necromancer build. I'll have to come up with something else. There's so much to this game. A poison build would be really cool. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about the Death Sorcery spells. That's so beautiful, though. One person commented, they look good, but they're very underpowered. And yeah, they are underpowered. Only one of them is worth getting, but I'd like to know your thoughts. Are you going to go out of your way to get these very rare, hard to find and get spells? Uh, are you interested? I'm not. I already have them, and I just don't think I'll ever get them again. If From Software decides to patch the game with some buffs and nerfs, hopefully they pay attention to Death Sorcery. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, like, sub, all that jazz. If you have any suggestions for things you'd like to see for Elden Ring, weapon comparisons, things like that, please let me know. At this moment, I am still fighting Radagon. Radagon's actually pretty easy. It's the Elden Beast that I'm having a problem with. But once I'm done with that, I'll be a New Game Plus, and then I'm free to finally just... it takes 122,000 to level up. Anyway, thank you, and as always, have a great day.